Hello everyone, welcome back to Ramon at Home. I'm so excited you're here today because in today's video we continue our Christmas decorating series for 2023. I'm going to share with you how to decorate a gorgeous Christmas tree, a fabulous statement on your door with a wreath, and a tabletop arrangement on a snowy theme. These are absolutely gorgeous, super easy to make, and I know you're going to love them. So if you are interested in flocked, snowy, glam Christmas, please stay tuned. Don't forget to like this video and share with your friends on Facebook, on Instagram, on WhatsApp, because it is free and it really helps this channel. And if you are new to this channel, consider subscribing. But while you subscribe, don't forget to turn the notification bell on because you will not want to miss this whole Christmas series for 2023. Are you guys ready? Well, I'm gonna take you into the studio, and first I'm gonna share with you how to decorate the most beautiful, frosty and snowy Christmas tree. Let's take a look. All right, you guys, so now we're going to decorate a gorgeous Christmas tree in a snowy theme. Remember last week I shared with you how to create a gorgeous centerpiece with a little aisle, what I like character centerpieces. It was super cute, adorable, and very whimsical. If you have not seen that video, I'm gonna link it down below because that's gonna be the inspiration for this Christmas tree. And you know also that I have a 4-step process when I decorate, whether it's a Christmas tree, a wreath, a garland, or a swag, and that is ribbons first, picks, florals, and stems second, third is ornaments, and at the end, our 4th step is adding our accent ribbons, accent ornaments, and anything that is just a little bit more expensive, so that way we can make it really shine. So for this particular tree, I chose my basic I think it's a 4.5 foot tall, and then I put it on this urn. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab some of this David Christopher's ribbon, and I wanna do some loops, but we're gonna do something different because I feel a little, well, sassy today. I actually love this ribbon because it has a lame back, and I have pre-cut this ribbon. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna do a loop like this, and somebody did correct me, and I don't know who you are, but thank you, because he said that every time I meant to say loop, I say bow. So what I'm doing is a loop, not a bow. So thank you for correcting me. I appreciate that. I'm trying to pay attention to your guys's corrections so that I can learn as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna start right here on the top, and I'm gonna give this loop, and then I'm gonna do about a 4-inch other loop, and I'm gonna go right here. I'm gonna grab a bristle, and I wanna make sure that they really flop like this. Then I'm gonna do another immediately, but this time I'm gonna make it smaller. I'm gonna grab another bristle right here, and I'm gonna gather those two together, and I'm gonna leave that tail right there. I might cut it later on, we don't know yet. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab another piece of ribbon, and I'm gonna do the exact same thing on the other side. So we're going to pinch. Remember, what happens on the left always happens on the right, and what goes up must come down. And we added to our sayings, balance is my best friend, because what we're looking for at the end of the day is balance, not so much perfection, because I don't believe in perfection. I believe that if Mother Nature does not produce perfection, then we have no business trying to attain it. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go a step down right here. I'm gonna grab a bristle, and remember to always pull as far in as you can, so that way your ribbon looks like it's growing out of the Christmas tree versus being just laid on top. I'm gonna grab one of these bristles right here and fold it, creating a loop. Then I'm going to do another loop right here, going as far in as I can, and I'm gonna stop right here. And because I cut this one short, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go ahead and cut this one also, and this one I'm gonna cut it a slant, just dropping the droppings on the floor. And so now I'm going to go one step further down, and I'm gonna repeat myself by adding another loop. You guys, how absolutely gorgeous is this ribbon right here? It has this print of snowflakes, and I just absolutely love it because the back is lame and it has that beautiful glitter print. I love it. And you guys know you get 10% off of your entire purchase at davidchristopher's.com if you enter the code Ramon10. If you wanted to look for this ribbon, you know where to find it. I always try to tell you where the things come from, so that way if you want to go look for it, well, you can. So I'm gonna go one step down, and I'm gonna go almost to the center, but almost to the center, but not quite. And then also I wanna go starting to one side. So we're going to do a loop right here. Remember to always give it a little bit of give, so that way you can create this body right here, this loop right here, and then you want to straighten up your ribbon, and I'm going to do yet another one right here, like this, grabbing one of my bristles and twisting, and then I'm going to cut right here at a slant. I'm just gonna let it hang like that. And so now I'm gonna grab my roll. This is what I had left over. I'm gonna just drop it on the floor, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. See, if you always cut it at a slant, which I also like a dovetail, don't get me wrong, but if you cut it at a slant, then you always have your ribbon at the ready. I'm gonna do another loop, and I'm gonna grab my wire. I'm always also telling you guys to have all of your tools at the ready. Right here I have my scissors, my wire cutters, my wires, and all my step that I'm working on, in this case the ribbon, because it really makes your job a lot easier to be just prepared. So you're gonna be left with this, and so now I'm gonna go one step further even down right here, and I'm gonna grab my bristle, I'm gonna twist my wire like so. Then I'm gonna pinch right here. I'm gonna go into almost the heart of the tree, and then I'm gonna do another one right here. I'm gonna go right here. Look how cute this is. I'm gonna grab my scissors, and I'm gonna cut it a slant right here. Let's see. So far that's good. I'm gonna leave that down there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to grab our accent ribbon, and for that I chose this striped ribbon. It's a silver, almost like a lame. It really does have a lot of shine to it. I absolutely love it. This came from, I don't remember, I think it's from Walmart. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to dovetail this guy right here, and this is where the magic starts to happen. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 3 loop bows, and these are my favorite because they're so fast. Look how fast. You just pinch, 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 gather, and then I always tell you that you want to do all of those loops at different sizes, because that way it'll give you more texture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my wire right here, which by the way, I'm running out of wire. Jameson, remind me to get some wire when we are actually not at the Science Center. By the way, you guys, give it up for Jameson, who's behind the camera and who's been helping this season. Come over here, come say hi. He's been helping this season, and I'm so thankful because things are just so much easier. How are you doing today?
Doing great. We're here. Christmas has arrived. Let's do it.
Christmas has arrived. Is there something you want to say to the people that are so nice to you?
Thank you for all the wonderful comments. It means a lot to me. I appreciate it. And yes, you'll see more of me coming.
Yay! Thank you, Jameson, for being here and helping you guys. I always say that 2 hands work faster than, 4 hands work faster than 2, and 4 eyes can see more than 2, and it really is such a blessing. So give it up for Jameson. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to put my wire. Now this time I want to leave my wire attached to the roll because I'm not quite sure how many rolls, how many loops I want to do. So I'm going to do 1 right there, and then I'm going to come forward, and it's about 10 inches. I'm going to grab my bristle right here and fold, and then I'm going to move it over to this side so I can start going down to this side. And so I'm going to do another one right here, and I'm going to now follow on this one. See, you don't even have to cut this ribbon. All you have to do is move it from one side to the next. When you're doing those loops, make sure that you fluff like this. I'm gonna do yet another one because why not? Now this ribbon doesn't have as much body as this one because it is a little bit more affordable, and that is the problem when you get a ribbon like this, that you have to really fluff them before you move on to the next, because you don't want to flatten them out too much, as you will not get it back to where it's supposed to be. You know what, I'm going to do yet another one. Let's go all the way down to the bottom, and then when we're at the bottom right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a tail hanging. I'm going to do a long tail, and if you've been following the channel, you know that once I cut, I like to put it right here. And so I'm going to dovetail this guy right here. If you guys are enjoying this series this year, I really appreciate if you give the video a thumbs up and share with your friends on Facebook, on Instagram, on WhatsApp, so they too can come and join Ramon at home this holiday season, because you guys, we're having so much fun creating all these looks for you. And I just really wish that you would invite your friends and your family members to come and join us. So they too can come and join the fun for the holiday season. And you guys, we are working on the home tour. Me and Jamison are picking some paints because we're painting some accent walls. We are doing some other things to the house because we really want to go all out this year because Christmas is what we do. So we really want to go out. Plus, you know what? Christmas really is my favorite time of the year. I remember when I lived in the Midwest and like the brisk on the air and it just feels different. Here in California, well, we're blessed to have really nice weather almost all year round. It does get a little chillier down in January, February, but during Christmas it's pretty warm. So we like to go look at the palm trees, I suppose. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I did that one right there. So now what I'm going to do is I want to do one going down the center. So for that, I'm going to go a little bit down. Remember, you have to step down. It's almost like a step ladder motion. And what you want to do is you want to continue to do these big massive loops by grabbing a bristle. And look how easy it is. You basically just run your head down, create that loop, go in, down, create the loop, go in, we'll fluff it. It doesn't want to partake in. Like this, like that. And then we go down, we create our loop, and then we put it right here with a bristle. And so now I grab my scissors and I cut right here. I am so thankful for you guys. I had so much fun reading all of y'all's comments on the last video about the homeless guy that I told you about. It is such a blessing to know that so many of you were blessed by that story. I just love telling you that I went looking for him and I haven't seen him again, which makes me really sad, but I know he'll be there some other time and I'll just get to say hi again. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to do it fast because it's very repetitive. So I'll be right back with you to give you our next step. Keep watching. All right, so step number 2 is going to be to add our ornaments. And for that, I have selected a variety of them. Now, I have to repeat, you guys, these baskets are your best friends if you are out decorating for Christmas. They are from the dollar store, they're $1.25. And look, you can gather all your ornaments one by one, and it really is very helpful. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab one basket at a time, and I'm gonna put it right here. I'm gonna start with this white iridescent ornament. And remember, I like to start right here on the top. And this is what's gonna start filling in our tree. And we're gonna look for the biggest gaps that we can find so that we can add our bigger ornaments. So I'm gonna put one right here on the side, to the side, because I do have other ones that I want to add that are a little bit more precious, that I want them to be a little bit of a center stage. So I'm gonna go over to this side now, and I'm going to add one right here. Remember, what happens on the right happens on the left. And then also, I've explained this to you before, I put a wire on them, so that way it's a little bit faster, because look what you can do. Okay, let me see, where do I want one? I'm gonna put it right here. And I'm gonna stick it a little further, right here. Now this right here just creates a focal point, so I'm gonna put my last one over on this side, like that. So now I'm going to grab, let's grab a silver one. I'm gonna grab these silver ones. You guys, I absolutely love these ornaments. They are so rare to find. They look like brushed metal, and they are from Hobby Lobby. However, every year I only get to get one box. So this is my 3rd year that I get one box. So I have now about 12, but look how absolutely gorgeous they are. They look like brushed, you know that when they brush that, well, you know what that's called? That like copper, no, it's not copper, it's like on your countertops. Anyways, it's so pretty. It's brushed something. So I'm gonna start by adding these guys right here. And remember to just grab your wire, it's super simple. And then you put it through, you fold it in half, and then you twist a little bit. And so I'm gonna start adding these ornaments right here because I want a lot of silver to show. And I am going to tell you a secret. We spent about, I don't know, probably about 30 minutes gluing the caps of some of these ornaments with glue. If you are out decorating for the holiday season at people's homes, I really recommend you do that because it is prep work. But prep work makes the dream work. Remember that too. If you don't prep your work, you're going to take so long to decorate these homes for Christmas or your own home. But if you do your prep work, look, you just have it already glued and already wired, and you too can be just as fast. And I'm doing this in real time because I want to see how long it takes me to decorate a Christmas tree. So I'm gonna add this guy right here. And look, I'm gonna share something real quick. So you put your wire through, you fold it in half, you twist it a little bit, and this is how easy it is. You have this little stem. Ooh, there they go. You have this little stem, and then you are just gonna go one swoop to the left and then one to the right to get it off. That's how easy it really is to put these ornaments once you have them all wired like this. And if you touch that wire and tack it in, you can always just reach for it at the end of the season. And all of the ones that you guys saw me use, I already have the wires because I've already used them. So I don't take this wire off once I put it on. I just leave it there. So that way, next year when I use them again, they have the wire already. All right, so this is my last one of this. And I'm going to go over to this side. I'm trying to go all over the place and trying to stay as close as I can to the larger ornaments so I create more of a cluster. Now this right here, believe it or not, you guys, these are from the dollar store. One day me and Jameson were at the dollar store and we bought all of the ones they had because, and this also I glued down because I don't want them to come off. But they were only $1, and look how absolutely gorgeous these are. They look like milk glass, and that's why I love them. You guys remember milk glass? I love hobnail milk glass. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna add another one right here, facing down. And look at that, it looks like candy almost. So I'm going to add this guy over here on the top. I'm gonna go through here and I'm gonna pull. And I'm going to attach like that. I'm having so much fun, you guys, teaching you all of these tips and tricks and hacks on how to decorate for the holiday season. Jameson, do you want to pick this up over here? We spilled them, so if you don't mind picking those up for me real quick so I can continue telling people that we're having so much fun just creating all of these DIYs for you guys, because I really do believe that if I can do it, so can you. I want to encourage you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really want to encourage you to give it a try because it really is not that hard. Like I told Jameson, I believe Jameson has no creative bone in his body. He's more of, his profession is sommelier, so he knows everything about wine. He knows where it grew, what kind of soil, and all that stuff. But if I tell Jameson, I can teach you how to decorate a Christmas tree, because I truly believe that anyone can decorate a beautiful Christmas tree if you just follow the steps. So simple. Ribbons first, ornaments second, and then we're going to do our stems picks. It's getting tight, so but I do want all of them because I want them to show. Stems, florals, and picks, and then after that we add all of our accent pretties. And if you follow that formula, I promise you, you too will be able to decorate a gorgeous Christmas tree. I'm gonna tuck this right here. All right, well, I have 2, 4, 6, 8. I'm not gonna bore you with more stories about decorating for Christmas, so I'm gonna speed up this real quick and I'll be right back to give you our next step, so keep watching. All right, you guys, so now our next step is going to be to add our picks, stems, and florals. And for that, I do want to mention I have these really pretty flocked picks that I'm going to add because I want it to be a break between the greenery of the tree and then also the white and silver of all of this. So this particular one, it's a branch that I've been also collecting for a few years, for 5 years. Every year I get a few of them because it is the perfect transition for Christmas trees. If you are doing white on green, it is going to break that apart and it's just gonna help you create a more beautiful look, a frostier look. And you would ask, well, Ramon, why didn't you just do that on a white tree? I don't want it to be all white. In the future, we'll probably do like an all white tree with silver, but in this occasion, I wanted to share with you how also beautiful white can also look on green. So I am going to just add all this stems, and as you guys can see also what this is doing, it's giving us that depth. So now this is really flat right here, right? And so by adding all of our picks and stems, this is what's gonna do, is going to give us that depth and dimension. And I don't know if you noticed, let me put this last one right over on this side. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, take care of the bottom of it first. And then what you want to do is you want to work on a zigzag pattern, because that's what's going to be more pleasing. You won't need as many stems and it's going to look gorgeous. Now, what you want to do is not insert your stem flat like this, but you want to give it a little bit curvature to the right or a little bit curvature to the left. So I'm going to add this one right here. And I also told you before that I like to have all of my picks and stems on my hand, because I need to know how many I have, because I need to know where they need to go. Now, here's the other thing that I've explained to you before, but you know, it's good to repeat. The third top of your tree, it doesn't matter how big that tree is, the third top of your tree, you have to put your stems facing up. So I'm gonna share right here. I'm gonna start in the top right here. So I'm gonna start with that, and that's gonna go up. Now I'm gonna go a little bit down over to this side, and I'm going to do up. Then I'm gonna go over to this side. I'm going to do up. What that's going to do is gonna give us that radiation from the core. And what that means, I'm gonna do another one here on the top. What that means is when a tree grows, if you go outside and look at a palm tree or just a regular tree, there is a main branch, which is your trunk, and everything radiates from there, right? Especially with palm trees, you'll see that radiation. And when you have a palm tree hanging down, this is what happens right here when you get to the bottom. And then when you get to the top, you have the palm tree shooting towards the sky. And the reason why it does that is because the top of it, the sun really reaches to it, so they reach to the sun. And then the bottom of it, at the end of the day, doesn't get as much, and that's why they start spilling forward. And that's with any tree that you'll see out in the wilderness. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add one right here in the middle, facing down, because at this point, like I said, we're spilling down. Look how absolutely beautiful, and how that just changed the whole look of this tree just by adding all of these flock stems. I'm going to add another one right here. And I am so sorry if I'm giving you my back, but I have to do this to show you guys all of this. And so I'm gonna add this guy right here over on the top. You guys, if you made it this far into the video, I just want to ask you to come follow me on my social media, Instagram, Facebook, and my YouTube Spanish channel. And then also, don't forget to like the video and share with your friends, because it is free and it helps the channel. A little reminder, right now we're posting videos every Sunday and Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here on my YouTube channel. All right, let's get back to the video. Okay, you guys, so I'm still on the picks, stems, and florals, and I do have an extra flyaway. You guys know I love my flyaways to add to this tree. However, I want to add the florals first, but I want to explain to you this real quick. So these are the David Christopher's poinsettias that we got for the Barbie theme. If you have not seen the Barbie Christmas tree, it is super cute. I'm gonna link it down below so you can take a look at it. But they come this long. However, sometimes I like to cut them short so they're a little bit more easy to maneuver. But when you do that, the tape that comes taped on it unravels. So here is a quick tip. If you go to your local craft store, they sell this florist tape, and they sell it in green, soft green, and then also on brown. So what you do is you just add a little bit of this so it stops unraveling, and it's like creating a new stem on your poinsettia or your floral or any other flower that you're working with. And look, we have a brand new stem basically, and now it's not going to unravel anymore. All right, so I have 5 of them, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open them up. They are so cute, and what I love about them is that they have this micro sequence on them. And remember to touch every single petal and just give them a little bit of character, every single one of them, because that's what really creates the magic when it comes to Christmas. And I am going to start right here on the top. I have 5, actually I have 6. I can cut that other one if I wanted to, but I'm gonna start right here. So I'm gonna add this guy right here. Remember that we like to work in a zigzag motion. So what I mean by that is, like, we need to go from here now over to this side. And also remember not to put all of your poinsettias facing forward. You want to give them a little bit of a twist, because what we want to do is we want to catch some of that side of the poinsettia, and then the light right here is going to catch really beautifully, and it's going to sparkle a lot. So let me open up another one. And like I mentioned to you guys before, these are from David Christopher's, and I'm going to leave all of their information down below in case you want to go look for them. You know where to find them. They are super cute and affordable. And I'm gonna add this guy right over here, tucking it in. And so now I'm gonna move over to this side. And when you are out decorating, or when I'm out decorating, you'll see me do that all the time. Like I just move from one side to the next. I'm gonna add this one all the way here to the bottom, and I'm going to grab this guy and I'm gonna put it right here. Show it right here on the bottom as well. And so you see this zigzag motion, it's almost like a snake motion. And that's where I'm gonna stop. I wanted to add another one, but I'm not going to, because I still have a few ornaments that I want to add. So the last ornament that I'm going to add is going to be this bejeweled, oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so obsessed with this ornament. It is from Walmart, believe it or not. It is a disco ball, and we could only find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 4, 6, 7 of them. Me and Jameson went to various Walmarts here in San Diego looking for them. They're so affordable. I think they were like about $3 each. And look what this is going to do. I only have 7, so I have to be very careful where I place them for maximum impact. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab me a spot right here. I'm gonna open up this bow and I'm going to pull right here and attach to my bristle. And so that is going to really catch that light. And that's the only one that I'm going to put on top of, which remind me, Jameson, to go to, we're gonna go somewhere for lunch after this, which is going to be near another Walmart, to see if I can find some more of these, because I would like to use them on some wreaths. All right, so now I'm gonna go right here and I'm going to attach right here. And look at that, you guys. It just catches the light so beautifully. I cannot wait for you to see the close-up of these beautiful ornaments from the Walmart store. All right. And you see right here, I have Dollar Store, which is like this white one. I have Walmart. I have David Christopher's. I have all of these items, and it doesn't really matter where you buy it as long as you put this look together. And the way I do it is like, I like to think that, I'm gonna be honest with you, the first thing that I bought for this particular look was this ornament right here. When I saw them at Walmart, I should have grabbed all of them, but you know, it was still early in the season. I was like, nobody's gonna buy disco ball ornaments. Guess what? They did. I'm gonna go, let's see, I'm gonna go right here. So I'm gonna grab me a bristle. And so what I was gonna tell you is, this was the first ornament that I got for this particular look, because I just love the way it looks and how it catches the light. And then after that, I just started planning, what is my theme? What do I have? I already had the white poinsettias. I already had all of this beautiful greenery. I was like, well, you know what? I can do an all white with a touch of this mirror in silver. And so that's what I did. Look how pretty that is. I have only 2 more, so I have to see where I'm gonna put them. I'm gonna go over to this side. And then after that, because I was like, well, the poinsettias do have that silver micro sequin. I was like, oh, and then I have this ribbon from David Christopher, so let's use that ribbon. And it all came together. So I was like, you know what, Jameson, let's do an all white and silver tree that is going to really be impactful. And you guys, I only use 7 of this. Look, and you really can tell how they catch the light. So I'm gonna put this one more towards the middle right here, along with this guy. And so I'm gonna open this right here. All right, let me fluff this poinsettia, kinda wilted it a little bit. All right, so that's it. And now for my favorite step, I'm gonna get one of our last steps ready and I'll be right back with you, so keep watching. All right, so let's recap real quick. The very first step we did was to add our ribbon, and as you guys can see, it is absolutely gorgeous. I added this printed snowflake and then this beautiful, almost like a lame stripe. After that, step number 2 is to add our ornament. So I added my big ornament, this polished silver. That's what I was trying to say earlier, guys, the polished silver one. And then right now I added these beautiful disco ball ones, and I just absolutely love them, along with the dollar store white ones. After our ornaments, we added our stems, picks, and florals. And so I added this beautiful white flock stem that really gives me the dimension I need when it comes down to decorating. And then also I added the poinsettias from David Christopher's that I am obsessed with. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the flyaways, you guys. So this is what's really going to just throw this out of the window gorgeous. And look at this. I'm gonna start right here in the middle. And I'm going to go like that, and look at that. This is going to tie it all together. I'm gonna add one right here on the top. Remember, all of the ones that you add on the top, they need to face up. I'm gonna add one over on this side, right here. You have to be meticulously about where you put them and how you put them. Remember to give them a little bit of a spin. I'm gonna add one on the very top right here also to touch it. Remember, everything that goes up has to come all the way down. And so now we're going to start with our snake motion. So I'm gonna start right here over on this side by adding it sideways like that. It's really going to catch the light. I'm gonna go over to this side. I'm gonna add one right here like that. And I'm gonna put one right here in the middle. Now these are from Hobby Lobby and they are my favorite. I have about 100 of them, you guys, because every year also I buy a few of them because I never want to run out of it. It's like if you were to say, Ramon, what is your favorite thing about decorating a Christmas tree? I want to say it's the accents, the flyaways and the accent ribbon at the end, because it is what really gives your tree life. And so this, I would say, is my signature, is the flyaways, whether it's a floral arrangement, a wreath, or a swag. I love me a flyaway. So I'm gonna put this guy right here, like that. And so now we have the last step. I'm gonna get that ready and I'll be right back with you, so keep watching. All right, you guys, so the last step in decorating our Christmas tree is to add our accent ribbons. And for that, I selected the bejeweled ribbon that I have that I absolutely love. And you know that I like to do a 1.5 inch or 1 inch ribbon at the end, whether it's a beautiful lame, a beautiful velvet, or something like this that has so much to give. But you wanna make sure that you add small bows like this, or loops like this, and then add them at the end so they really shine. And I'm gonna share with you, I don't have but 4, but that's really going to change totally the look of this tree. So I'm gonna add one right here and I'm gonna attach it to one of my bristles. I'm just gonna let it hang out like that and see how that champagne silver color, it really changes and it serves as a highlighter in the rest of our color. So I'm gonna go over to this side now and I'm gonna add one right here. Look at that. Just like that, adding that bejeweled ribbon as an accent. I'm gonna move over to this side and I'm gonna go one step down. So I'm gonna add it right about here. Look how pretty that is. It really does add so much texture. It will catch the light. So I'm gonna go boom, boom, boom. And so I'm gonna add this last one over on this side, right here, and just let it hang out like that. Just like that, I'm gonna give it a quick fluff and then I'll be back to give you a close-up. So keep watching. All right, you guys, so here is the end result on this beautiful monochromatic white snowy flocked Christmas tree. Look how absolutely gorgeous and simple this tree is, but it is so elegant. Let me give you a close-up of these beautiful white poinsettias with all of the micro sequins in it, the beautiful jeweled ribbon that is just a little touch. This reflective disco ball ornament is so pretty. And then the ribbon, you guys, look how absolutely gorgeous the ribbon is with the snowflake on it. This is super easy to create if you just follow these simple steps. Remember, number 1 is to add your ribbons, number 2, your ornaments, number 3, stems, picks, and florals, and number 4, your accent ribbon and accent ornaments and monogram. Why not? I cannot wait to read your comments, so let me comment down below and let me know what do you think about this beautiful snowy white Christmas tree. Wasn't that Christmas tree just absolutely stunning, you guys? An all frosty theme. It is super elegant, fresh looking, modern, and so beautiful if you just follow those easy steps. But now I'm gonna take you back into the studio and I'm gonna share with you how to create a gorgeous wreath DIY for your front door. Remember, I'm always telling you that is our first chance to make a statement. But before we do that, I would like for you guys to like this video and share it with your friends on Facebook, on Instagram, and on WhatsApp so they too can come and join the Christmas fun this year. All right, now let's get back to the studio. All right, you guys, so for this next beautiful wreath DIY for Christmas, what we're going to do is we're going to do one of my favorite themes, which is flocked with red. Now, I'm gonna start by telling you the things we're going to need. So we're gonna need a flat wreath that we're going to fluff, of course. We're gonna use some white paint because we're going to fluff that wreath. I have a selection of frosted picks like these guys right here that we're gonna add to our wreath. I also have my flyaways in white. You guys know I told you earlier that I cannot do a wreath without the flyaways. I'm gonna use 2 rolls of deco mesh in white with iridescent ribbon in it. I'm gonna use 3 red poinsettias and 3 silver poinsettias, and I'm gonna use some red and then some silver ornaments as well. And this is the selection of ribbons that I have. I have a red ribbon that is mesh. I have a silver with a white and red stripe, and then also I have this beautiful just silver stripe ribbon, which is going to be what we fill our beautiful wreath with. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flock this with my spray, and I'm gonna link a video down below where I share with you how you can flock your own wreath and your own Christmas tree. So I'm gonna go outside, I'm gonna flock this wreath, and I'm gonna put the mesh on, and I'll be right back to give you the next step. I really think you're gonna love this one, so keep watching. All right, you guys, so now that I'm done with the flocking and then also the first layer of mesh, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you how to add this beautiful red mesh. And remember, this is going to be a red and silver because it is one of my favorite combinations for the holiday season. I just think it is so cheerful. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna go ahead and do 1 layer of it, zigzagging in and out. I'm gonna do that really fast because you've already seen me do this on the previous wreath, but I'll be right back to give you the next step, so keep watching. That's where it's gonna get really fun. All right, so now I am back. All of our mesh and our first layer of this ribbon is in, and look at this, you guys. You can just go ahead and pull this right here, and it all extended. And so we wanna make sure that we do that so we cover a lot of our wreath, and there's a lot of this red mesh all throughout our wreath. How fun is this? I was just telling Jameson that this ribbon is from the At Home store, and they had it in silver and red, and it is such a great buy if you are a wreath maker. If you make this for sale like I do on my Etsy shop, then I recommend to look on your At Home store if you have one in your town. Ours is really far away, so we have to travel quite the distance to go, but look how fun it is, and it really fills in your wreath, and it is super affordable. So there is a tip you need to know. All right, I'm gonna get our next step ready, and I'll be right back with you. Keep watching. All right, so let's continue with this fabulous wreath DIY. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some bows with both of my ribbons, and for that I selected this beautiful striped, almost like a candy cane, but you guys, this ribbon is so yummy because it has all of this glitter print and it's just so beautiful. So what I want to do for this particular ribbon is I'm going to do 3 loop bows. So I like to do a tail like this, and then I'm going to pinch right here. I think at this point, Jameson should know how to make a wreath all by himself since he's been watching all of these wreath DIYs. Do you think you can make a wreath, Jameson?
We'll have to try.
We'll have to try some of these days. That would be actually really fun if you could learn how to make them, because that means that I don't have to. I can just put you in front of the camera to make all these wreaths. And he does help with the putting on Etsy. If you see the descriptions on the Etsy shop, that's all Jameson. All of that beautiful wording, I could never come up with it. All right, so now that we have our first bow, what we're going to do is we're gonna dovetail. We want to dovetail these guys and short like this, so that way there's a lot of loops. So what we're going to do is once we put a bow right here, we're gonna give it a little bit of spin. And now I'm going to do, I remember I tell you to put these little pins on your ribbon so that way it doesn't unravel. So what I'm gonna do is now I'm gonna do a silver one. So what I'm going to start doing is a dovetail, and I'm gonna give it another little bit of a loop like this. How fun is this ribbon? All of that glitter. The loops on the bow are probably about 6 inches. So that means that the whole width of your ribbon right here is about 12 inches. By the time you fold it in half, that makes a 6-inch loop bow. And remember that I tell you that I always like to do how do I say, different widths and lengths, because that gives your ribbon more texture. So now what you're gonna do is gonna grab your wire right here, you're gonna pull it really tight, and then we're going to add this one actually right next to it. And we're going to alternate these bows because that's what's gonna make it look even more beautiful. Remember to find the bristle and push the wire all the way to the bottom and then twist and then hide. And what we do now is we fluff, we grab our scissors and we dovetail. I want this to have a whole bunch of these little tails. Yesterday, me and Jameson were coming up with mug sayings, and we came up with some clever ones that we're going to put on our mugs. One of them is dovetail. Well, I cannot tell them because I want them to be surprised. So we're gonna save those for you guys, but they are so funny. You're gonna get a chuckle out of it once you see these mugs made. They're super fun. Actually, they'd be also really fun for t-shirts, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna do another 3-loop bow. And remember to always twist that designer part to the front. Grab a wire your bow right here. And then we're going to cut like that. And I'm going to add my bow right here. Now you want those loops to go each way, like I want it to go up. And don't forget to dovetail right here, like that, because I want this to be super full with loops and things. Look at that. And don't forget to also spin every time that you put a bow. So now I'm gonna do another one right here with the silver one. You guys, if you could just see all of the ribbons that I have in my storage unit, you probably fall backwards, because I almost fell backwards when I dig everything out. I am the kind of person that goes out shopping, whether it's Shinoda Design Center, Walmart, the dollar store, anywhere that I go, Hobby Lobby, at home, and I just like to buy ribbons, and I'm like, oh, I'll use that later, I never get to use it. And I was just telling James, and I was like, all of these materials I bought last year. And because every season I want to do all these projects, but you guys, the season is just not long enough for me to do all these projects. So I'm now left with all of these materials you guys are going to be seeing on these wreaths. So that's why I told Jason, you know what, let's make some wreaths for the shop, and we can show people how it's done in the mint process. We can just get rid of some of those materials, because guess what, Ramon started buying again. And so now I have accumulated even more. Every time that I see a pretty ribbon, I cannot say goodbye without taking one, at least one home. I don't know, I love ribbon. I love ribbon a lot. So I'm gonna twist one more time. All right, I'm gonna do one more so you guys can see it very slow, and then I'm gonna speed it up because this is very repetitive. So first you dovetail your ribbon. Then you give about a 4 to 5 inch. You pinch and gather. Then you go down under, you pinch and gather, and then you twist right here. And then you go up, you pinch and gather, and then you twist again, and then you go under, pinch and gather, twist again, because we want that design part to be forward. So now we have 2 loops in one side, 1 loop on the other one. For this particular wreath, that's the way I want it. I don't want a 4 loops. It does just create more texture when there's 3 of them. Then we twist our wire, and then we grab a bristle, and we go as far in as we can right here. And then we twist that wire into the bristle and hide the rest of it. We fluff our bow, and then we're going to dovetail this guy right here, like that. All right, so obviously I have half of it to go, so I'm gonna speed up this process. You guys don't just see me, so you don't sit here watching me just talk nonsense, and then I'll be back to give you the next step because it's going to be really fun, I promise. Keep watching. All right, so I am back, and now we finished all of our bows. I think our wreath is looking absolutely fabulous with all of the tails and the bows, and it's looking super full and super fancy. However, we're going to add some of the greenery back into the wreath with some of the selection of these flocked items that I selected. So I have some eucalyptus, I have some flat cedars, some cypress, and some berries that I'm going to add, so that way we can start building those flyaways back out. Now I do want to mention that the wreath that we flocked It is just the base that we work on. I've explained to you guys that this type of tree right here, when we decorate a Christmas tree, is called a designer tree, and that is meant to be designed on, well, it's the exact same thing with your Christmas wreaths. They are just the bristles. That is for you to go wild, go crazy and creative and build something beautiful on. Same concept with your Christmas tree. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my hot glue gun, and remember that we like to be generous because we want our customers or our guests in our house to be wowed by it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up right here, and I'm gonna drop. Remember, we want a clean drop. I'm always telling you that. That means you have to move your bows and everything that you are working with in order to drop that stem so that all of this glue, you know what? I should have spun around. I'm gonna continue to spin around this wreath. And so now I'm gonna open up right here. I'm gonna insert right there. Now you have to be aware of how many you have, so that way you can go all the way around your wreath. I have 6, so I have to split in between the whole wreath. So be generous with that glue, like I said, always go up like this so it kind of runs backwards. And I'm gonna open up right here, and I'm gonna make sure that I insert in those bristles. And like I said, this is just adding some of that air again, because all of that bristle, we don't really want to see as much of it. And the reason why we painted it white is so it kind of blends in a little bit more than if you leave it green, and if you add white to it, it is too stark of a contrast. So that's why I like to paint them white, or as I like to say, flock them. And look at that, you guys. How absolutely gorgeous is that looking? By just twisting your wreath a little bit. I know a lot of people like to work with the wreath flat on the surface. I cannot. I've actually even seen some wreath makers do wreaths sitting down, and I'm like, how in the world do you do that? I can sit down and work. I have to stand up because there's a lot of this motion that I have to do in order to have balance. Like that. Look how pretty. Just a few of those beautiful frosted eucalyptus stems really do the trick. You can fluff them a little bit, and when I say be generous with the glue, I mean it. You guys, let me tell you a story. So me and Jameson were at this store the other day, and we saw this absolutely gorgeous briefcase bag. It was made out of leather. It was only $25. It was like a what do you call those shops that consignment store, and it's been in my mind since we saw it, and I want to go back and see if it's still there. But I was telling Jamie that it won't be there. We should have got it that day, because every time this happens to me, by the time I go back, it's gone. So I'm gonna go check, because it was so beautiful. All right, so now I'm gonna start adding this cedar, and as you guys can see, I just want shorter branches. I'm running out of glue already, because I don't want this to be overpowered. I just want to add some of that greenery to my wreath. Just make sure that you add that right here. And then also you have to make sure that your glue is really hot, because if it's not hot enough, it's not gonna stick, and all of those stems are going to fall out. Always have your glue sticks at the ready. And what I like to do with these very long ones, I like to find a place, what they call a joint, and then I cut right there, and I make myself 2 out of 1. That's another way to save money on your wreath making, by not being afraid to cut those stems. You guys, I used to be so afraid to cut my stems because they're so expensive, right? And then oh, no, I didn't spin again. I'm talking too much. And then you're like, oh my gosh, but I paid this much. But let me give you a secret. You're gonna get better bang for your buck if you cut them than if you don't. Because sometimes, because they're so long, there's not much we can do with them. But if you cut them, you can manipulate them better. So that's why I'm always encouraging you to cut your stems. Look at that, how pretty is that? That's just adding some of that frost back to your wreath, and it's making it look fuller. It's closing all those gaps that we left when we added the ribbons, and it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. Okay, I'm gonna add one right here. Remember to do a clean drop by moving all of your existing bows and ornaments and stuff. That's why I always like to add my ornaments and my poinsettias at the end, because that way I know that I'm not gonna have to be having to be careful like that. All right, so I'm gonna twist again. I have a few more of these. I'm gonna speed up this particular step, and I'll be right back with you. Keep watching. All right, so I am back just to let you know that the way we do things here, Ramon at home, is remember what happens on the right happens on the left, and what goes up must come down. So every time that I insert one right here on the top, I like to insert one going down like this, so that way it looks cohesive. Look how adding these two right here, it really helps it to fill in, and by rotating your wreath like this, it really allows you to continue to keep that balance that we are looking for when it comes down to your wreath making, and it is going to look absolutely beautiful. So I'm gonna drop a few more like this. Let me see, where else do I need one? I think I'm gonna put the last one right there just because I have it. Once again, I don't wanna be left with a whole bunch of things for next year, like last year, because you guys, if you could see my storage, literally we would just fall backwards. And I'm trying not to be like that this year, but I already started because there's so many ribbons that I bought this year that I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make a Christmas tree with this, I'm gonna make a wreath with that, I'm gonna make a swag with that. And then we'll be making all these videos and I just totally forget. All right, so now I have this beautiful cedar. This is my favorite, and I'm gonna add just a touch of it because you guys, look how absolutely gorgeous this is. This is gonna give it a lot of air. And so once again, just add a lot of glue to that and lift your ribbons. I'm just gonna add a touch like that because it's really wide, and I just love the fact that it really makes it blend in with the rest of my elements that have white, like the mesh. All right, so remember what happens on the what goes up must come down. So open up right here and drop it, and look how much that added to your wreath. So your wreath was right here, and now your wreath is right here. That's what these type of flyaways do to your wreath. So now I'm gonna skip a big bunch of it, and I'm gonna do it again over here to show you. I don't want it to be as packed as the other ones. I'm gonna let the other ones serve as a filler, and this one right here is gonna start serving as my flyaways. Although I do have a flyaway for the end, this is gonna start acting as one right here. So I'm gonna open up right here and drop. Look, it just went right here. I'm gonna grab yet another one. Now this right here came on a pick. I had to unravel it and take it apart because out of the whole pick, I love this greenery. It came with pine cones, but I really don't like pine cones very much. So I did like the greenery, and so I went ahead and took it apart. So I'm gonna add this one right here, and look at that, this much. So now I'm gonna go all the way over here, and I'm gonna repeat it right here. See how I'm not putting it very close together? The reason why is because, like I said, I want this to start being my flyaway, what's giving my wreath some girth and making it look more luxurious. And this flat cedar, it's one of my favorites from Hobby Lobby, and I literally buy it every year. Every year I buy like 10 picks because I know, especially when they go 50% off, you guys, how can you say no to that, right? We have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. All right, so I'm gonna add one more right on the bottom. So I'm gonna lift up all of this. I'm gonna go right here. Look at this, right here. I'm gonna do one more, just right here to close it. And that'll be it, so I'll be right back. Keep watching. All right, so I am back with almost the last step. We're still continuing the picks, florals, and stems. And Jameson was telling me, oh, you know, you always do the same steps whether it's a Christmas tree or a wreath. And I like to do ribbons first, then picks, florals, and stems, and then accent ribbon, and then all of our accents. So we're gonna continue with our florals. And for that, I selected some of these beautiful poinsettias. You guys are so pretty. Look at this. You have to touch every single wire for these ones. And I love the little touch of greenery, so we're gonna leave it there. I thought about taking it off, but I think that particular greenery is going to make it look more realistic. Remember, I always tell you, whether we're doing floral arrangements or wreaths, I always like to have multiple types of greenery on it because it makes your arrangement look more natural. Although, how much natural can a floral silk floral can look, right? Well, we try to emulate as much as we can. That's our job. So then I have these red ones right here that I am obsessed with, and then also I have some silver ones that are a little bit more close together, and we're gonna add all of them. So here we go. We're gonna grab our stem, we're gonna give it a little bit of a curvature. I'm gonna cut a little bit of it because they're a little too long. And then I'm gonna add glue, and here is the secret. I have 3, and that's all I want. I actually have like 30 of them, but I only want 3 on my wreath. So I'm gonna look right here. I'm gonna start right here on the top of my wreath. I'm gonna look for a clean drop, and I'm going to add my poinsettia right there. All right, and then what I'm going to do, I want that famous triangle, so I want them about here and here. You have to form that triangle. So I'm gonna grab another one and I'm going to decide where I want it. I'm gonna give it that little bend. I'm gonna cut. And having a good pair of scissors is so essential when it comes down to wreath making, because it can really hurt your wrist if you have thicker stem. So I'm gonna open right here and I'm gonna drop right about here. I'm gonna put it right there. Fluffing all of my beautiful bows, like that. Remember, we always fluff at the end. All right, so now I want the other one right about here, because remember, I want that triangle. Triangle is the most pleasing shape to the eye when it comes to design. So we always try to achieve that triangle. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my floral like this. I'm gonna add my glue, smearing it on this paper stem, so that way it can latch on onto all of my materials. And I'm gonna go right here, I'm gonna open, and then I'm going to drop that poinsettia, pushing a little bit to make sure that it latches on like that. So there's our triangle, right? So now to add the silver ones, this is what we're going to do. We're gonna grab our wreath and I'm going to give it a total spin, and I'm gonna bring this up. Now this is gonna be our bottom. Why? Because I'm gonna do the exact same thing that I did, but with the silver poinsettias. So I'm gonna grab my stem and cut it and be generous with my glue, and we're gonna go for that triangle one more time. So we're gonna start right here on the top. Remember to do a clean drop, latching on to all of that. And so now I'm gonna look for that triangle again. So I'm gonna go probably right here and right here in between the bows. I'm gonna cut a little bit of this. I want a longer stem because I want it, like I said, the more stem you have, the more opportunity you have to latch on to all of those items. And look how beautiful these poinsettias are. So I'm gonna go right about here and I'm gonna do a clean drop like that. I'm gonna fluff my bows. We'll fluff all of our bows obviously before we put it on the door, but so here's one, and so I'm gonna go right here to form that triangle one more time. Cut a little bit of it. Remember to give it that curvature, because it's what makes it look more natural. I know it sounds kind of silly, and you would think that I made up all these rules, but I promise you that it does help. Okay, I'm gonna drop it right here. I'm gonna grab my wreath from the back, like that. Like that. So now we have our 6 poinsettias. So now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab my ornaments, and I have some ornaments in the same colors, and I'm gonna start with the red one right here. Remember, we have to use a lot of glue when it comes down to this step, so they all latch on. So I'm gonna open up right here. I'm gonna drop one right there. And remember, when we add a big ornament, we want to go ahead and add a smaller one right next to it to kind of form a cluster, so they create more of a focal point. So I'm gonna open up right here. I'm gonna drop right here. So there's one. Now I'm gonna grab a silver one, and these silver ones came with a pick. Look at that, how fun is that? These also are from Hobby Lobby. I'm gonna cut a little bit of that stem, and I'm gonna grab some glue, and I'm gonna glue all of this. Then also put some glue right here on the bottom. Why not? So now I'm gonna go probably right about here, and I'm gonna open up to drop right there. Look how fun, you guys. And so now I'm gonna grab another silver one, but this one has a little bit of pizzazz with all of that glitter. So I'm gonna cut a little bit. Also, doing that cut, it really does create a clean cut on your ornament. And I'm gonna look for a place somewhere near, and put it right here. Let me see, where do I want it? Right about there, to create that cluster. And so I'm gonna continue adding these ornaments. I'll be right back with you to give you the last tip and show you the end result. Keep watching. All right, you guys, so I am back to add the last step, and that's going to be the Ramon at Home flyaway. And remember, we have this beautiful flagged and glittered, I think it looks like a fern. I'm gonna say it's a fern. I've always said it's a fern, It might be a flat cedar, I'm not quite sure. So I'm gonna start with 4 stems, and then if we need more, we'll probably get more. But what I'm gonna do is give it a cut, and this is what is going to throw your wreath over the edge, gorgeous. And like I said earlier, I do not do a wreath or a floral without flyaways because it just, to me, just doesn't look right. This is what gives it the movement. When the door closes, it just dances so beautifully, especially at night. And you know, one trick that I always tell people to do is, if you can, do a spotlight on your wreath on your front door, especially during the holiday season, because it really helps it to dance on the light, and it looks so luxurious when that spotlight catches all of the glitter and all of the ornaments. And it was one of my favorite tricks to do when we decorated people's homes, to put a spotlight, and then you put on a timer and you never have to worry about it, because every day at the same time that spotlight comes on. You can find spotlights at Home Depot, you can find them at Walmart, you can find them everywhere where, you know, they sell bulbs, and it is just so much fun to see a spotlight on a wreath. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm adding all of my flyaways, and as you guys can see, I like to spin around as I go. Like I said, I cut all of the excess of the stem, and I am generous. And you guys, the next wreath we're making has a string of lights that I cannot wait to share with you how we're going to add those. It is so much fun. It is perfect if you have kids or grandkids, and it's Jameson's favorite, so you stay tuned. It is gonna be so much fun. All right, so remember, what goes up must come down. So we just lift up some of those items. We drop our stem, making sure that it's a clean drop. We spin around. Let me get this closer to me. And then we grab a stem and we cut. If you are a wreath maker, I urge you to go get yourself some flyaways. I cannot wait to share with you what we got for the next one. And I really hope that these ideas are being helpful for you guys. If you are learning something, be sure to drop it in the comment section below. Don't forget to like this video, share with your friends on Facebook, on Instagram, on WhatsApp, because it is free and it really helps the channel. And I am so grateful and thankful for every single one of you who does that, because it really helps out the channel to get to more people and to just reach more people so they too can come and join the fun here at Ramon at Home. Okay, so I'm gonna lift up right here and I'm gonna drop that one like that. Look how absolutely stunning this is. All of this glitter is just so beautiful. I'm gonna drop one more, and I am very generous with my glue. Now, if you ask what kind of glue I use, I like to use the Gorilla Glue. You can find this on Amazon. That's where I get mine. I get it by the box. And or you can find it also at Walmart, but at Walmart it's a little bit more pricey, because if you get it by the bulk, well, you save some bucks. And don't forget, you guys, to charge your clients even for the glue, because you pay for it, so it has to be included into the price of your wreaths if you're making this for sale, especially this Gorilla Glue, because it really does tack on to the things. And look at that, how stunning is that? So I'm gonna continue to spin. This wreath is coming to an end. I'm gonna fluff those ribbons, insert a few more of these, I'm gonna put it in the door and share with you the end result. Keep watching. And here is the finished product on this gorgeous wreath DIY. You guys, check out these poinsettias right here. Aren't these just absolutely stunning? Look at all that glitter. And the red ones, oh my gosh, it is so pretty. The ribbon selection is so exquisite. This is my favorite ribbon this season. This beautiful striped and glitter ribbon. It is so beautiful, and all of the flyaways really just make for a gorgeous statement on your front door this Christmas season. If you are doing red and white, remember, all of these wreaths are going to be available on my Etsy shop. Oh my gosh, that wreath turned out so gorgeous, you guys. If you just follow these simple steps, you too can have a gorgeous wreath on your front door this Christmas season. And remember, these wreath and other ones are available now on my Etsy shop. And the link to that is going to be down below along with all of my social media so you guys can come and follow along. All right, so now I'm gonna take you back into the studio and I'm gonna share with you how to create a beautiful tabletop arrangement to match all of this beautiful snowy Christmas theme. Let's take a look. All right, you guys, so for this DIY, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna share with you how to create a super simple and easy tabletop arrangements. For that, I selected this beautiful red container that is made out of mercury glass because it really goes with this snowy theme that I love so much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some foam into my container, but then I kind of want to shave some of that corner and make it look more cohesive. This is also a floral tip and trick. We always shave the corners like this so it is even with the container, so that way it doesn't stick out too much. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some of my flocked pieces and I'm going to start right here. So I'm going to start one going to my right. Remember, what happens on the right happens on the left. And then we're going to give it a little bit of spin, and then I'm going to do the same thing by taking one step down. So that way it graduates going down like this, and I'm going to repeat over on this side. You will see how easy it really is to make these arrangements, you guys. If you just follow all of these steps, you too can create beautiful floral arrangements. So now I give it another spin, and I went a step even further down. So you guys can see I have them all going the same way. I'm going to do my right, and then I'm going to do my left over here like that. See how it's now a very step ladder motion going down? That's what we want. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this really beautiful balsam. I'm going to put one right here. And remember to enter, when you enter your stem, don't put it flat like this, but go ahead and give it a spin like this. And so now I'm going to twist around. And what I'm doing with this is I am filling in all of those gaps that I have in between all of this pine. Now I'm gonna insert all of this balsam right here. And you guys, balsam is one of my favorite greeneries to decorate with during the holiday season because it smells so good. And actually one of my favorite candles is balsam greenery. I just love the smell. It's like when you go to Colorado and you just smell all of that freshness everywhere. So I'm gonna enter one right here. Look at this, look how gorgeous this already looks. What happens on the right happens on the left. So now I'm gonna give it a little bit of height with this beautiful frosted eucalyptus. I'm gonna go one right here. Immediately I'm going to go over to the other side right here. And look at the texture just created with this. It's so pretty. I also love this greenery as well. Then remember to step ladder down one. Let me see if I can take this out. No, I can't. So I'm not even gonna try. So I'm gonna put this guy right here. I'm gonna make sure that goes all the way in like this. How cute is that, you guys? All right, so now I'm gonna add some of this beautiful foliage that is frosted, and I'm gonna just go ahead and put it around the perimeter, all around the perimeter, and that's what's gonna help us to start to cover all of that foam. If you guys have not seen the owl centerpiece that we did last week, I'm gonna link it down below. It was so cute. It had an owl, and I call those characters centerpieces because it has a character. All right, so now what I'm going to do is continue to add some white and trying to cover all of that foam with some of these berries. And notice how I'm twisting around my centerpiece because I want to have the same element all throughout my centerpiece. And this one right here, you have to push all the way down to the foam because that's what's gonna really start to cover that foam right here. Let me see, where do I need one? I need one right about here. So good, look at that. Just like that could be a floral arrangement on your coffee table, right? Well, now I have all of these pine cones that I have left over from projects. We're gonna use those. So we're gonna stick those down. We're gonna go, what goes up must come down like this. We're gonna spin around, continue adding some pine cones. I like the fact that they're a little flocked like this. I'm gonna cut this one a little shorter. She's a long one. All right, so I'm gonna add this one right here and this right here. This can be done, you guys, with all of that leftover greenery that we have from past arrangements. So now this is where the fun comes, and I found this really pretty pick, a Hobby Lobby, and look how easy it is to just take it apart. You just pull it. As one, you have 3 stems, And then I'm going to try and cut this one right here. So now for this one that is a red berry and it has a little bit of snow, I'm gonna give it a little bit of a curvature, and I'm gonna try to put them right here on the perimeter. So that is going to tie in the container right here. You know, when I learned how to do floral arrangements, I was taught that if you are doing, when it comes down to containers, if you're doing a red container, then we have to add a red element to our bouquet. Whether it's a flower, a berry, a ribbon, sometimes, you know, if it is like a sympathy arrangement, you have to add a ribbon. Well, we add that ribbon, the color of the container, because you have to tie in that look. You don't want to have a red container and not have an element over here. And so for that, I chose the red container because I wanted to add these berries that I already had laying around. I said, you know what, let's go ahead and add those to my next arrangement, because I absolutely love berries and I think they're so cheerful for the holiday season. Just make sure they do go on your foam, because sometimes the foam gets tight. Look, you guys, how absolutely cute this is. So far, so good. So now the last step we're going to do, we're gonna grab a 20 gauge wire and we're gonna cut it in half. You guys have seen me do this trick. And then we're gonna cut those in half one more time. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fold them in half to create this kind of bobby pins. So what you're gonna do with this bobby pin is you're gonna go through an ornament right here, and then I'm gonna kind of cross it so it locks in. And so now I'm gonna use that, look at that, to insert into the stem. How fun is that? For this, I selected some silver and then some red ones. So basically just put that in there. You cross it like this and it gives you this stem. Well, now we're going to insert that stem into the foam, and that's going to lock our ornament in. Super simple, as you guys can see. It doesn't take very many elements. So basically just open right here and you drop your ornament. We're gonna do one more. Over on this side, we're gonna do another silver one. I'm gonna pick a shiny one, and then I'm gonna put my bobby pin, made up bobby pin, S-hook, and then I'm going to add right here onto my foam. All right, you guys, let me clean this real quick and I'll give you a really gorgeous close-up. Keep watching. And just like that, you get yourself a gorgeous tabletop arrangement for somewhere on your coffee table, an entryway table. This could also be done as a centerpiece. If you had multiples of them going down the table, it is super easy to make. It's nothing but a few flocked greeneries, and then also some berries and some pine cones and some ornaments. And you too can create a gorgeous and beautiful tabletop arrangement for your holiday celebration. What do you guys think? Well, what do you guys think of these beautiful snowy theme DIYs? The Christmas tree turned out absolutely gorgeous. The wreath is a stunner on the front door, and the beautiful tabletop arrangement was so easy and simple to make. I really hope that you give them a try. Be sure to leave me a comment down below and let me know which of the three are your favorite, and actually let me know what is the favorite DIY we've done so far this year. We've done so many themes. I'm having a lot of fun. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and as always, you can watch more videos right now. Until next time, bye.